a lot of programs have now changed protocols due to the COVID outbreaks around the country. How are you guys handling that going forward immediately with your program?
Well, it certainly has reared its head. I think it's a lot of programs are dealing with it. Dr. Lee and John Houston. I think I've talked to them both. John especially multiple times. We're just following the rules. There's no new. The thing that we're all dealing with is the current COVID rules were pre-vaccination rules. Now that everybody in our program is vaccinated, and before January 1st, they will all have their booster shots. Our kids do not have boosters yet, but everybody is vaccinated. All the coaches are vaccinated and boosted. So we're just following there's nothing new, the conference, most conferences rules are that if you have to, miss a game because of COVID on your part, that you have to forfeit the game. Those are all things out there. You just hope and pray that you're able to get through without interruption. But all of that's in God's hands. But it's the things that you control. You should try to control, which is why all our kids are vaccinated.
Coach, if I could follow up quick.
Wait, Greg.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe specifically, Nick Saban and Alabama football have gone back to everybody wears a mask in the facility, social distancing for meetings, those kind of things. Are any of those things under consideration in the immediate future?
No, they're not under consideration. We're doing them. Okay.
You do those now?
Yeah. No, last year we never used we were out of our locker room for a long time. Waited everything in a huge space. We are back in the locker room, but we're no longer using our film room, for instance. We've got the COVID spacing. We're wearing masks. Here's my mask that I just took off because we just had a staff meeting in this room. Our staff meeting literally just broke up. We always have film the night before every home game at my house. Tonight, we're going back to having film here in our facility, down in the gym, we're space. So, from an abundance of caution, you should do everything that you can control. And that's what we're going to do. I believe in our health professionals. I believe in Dr. Fauci. And whatever our health people say we should do, that's what I'm going to do. Not because of some personal belief, but because it's the right thing to do for other human beings. And I have a responsibility for my kids, to their parents who entrusted me with their sons.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you, Greg. We'll go to Mark Berman with Fox 26. Mark, go ahead, please.
Hey, Kelvin, can you give us an update on J1, Tajay, and Tremont, how they're doing?
Tajay will be out for this game as well. We think he'll be back for the Cincinnati game. Tremont will be out for the foreseeable future. I'm not sure when he'll be back. Who was the other one?
J1.
Yeah, that was a nasty fall he took. If you were to suspend somebody 6 feet in the air and just drop them without any support to brace his fall, J1 can jump. I went back and looked at that play. That was an awesome block that he had. He was so far over the rim, and then he and Josh just kind of lost balance, and J1 got the brunt of it. We played Saturday. we did not tape. We had a walkthrough on Sunday. We taped and we did practice with the available players yesterday. J1 did not practice yesterday. I know he came in and shot free throws this morning. But I'll just have to see how he is this afternoon, Mark. I don't really have an update on him.
Can you share with us what's going on with Tajay?
Just sick. You know, he was just sick, feeling bad. And we just held him out. And John, you know, I asked you, the questions you're asking me are the ones I asked John. You know, John is our trainer, and I have unconditional trust in him, and he just feels like he's should be held out, and that's about all I know.
Thanks, Gil.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mark. We'll go to Joseph Duarte with the Houston Chronicle. Joseph, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Kelvin.
Good morning.
Along those lines, I know life goes on, games go on. Is it still, you know, as you approach conference play and trying to don't just run a group out there, is it tough to sort of, accomplish what you want, have the bodies out there, the rotations, when you don't have these guys, and is that a little bit of a concern as you get closer to conference?
Yeah. I mean, when you think about last year, we ran Dejan Giroux, Marcus Sasser, Quentin Grimes, Justin Gorham, and either Bryson or Reggie out there. You guys can fact check me on this. I think I'm right. I think that was the team we ran out pretty much every game. I know Quentin missed a few games because of a leg injury, but and this year, it catches up with you. But it's just the way it is. I don't, against Louisiana the other night, Marcus didn't play, Tremont didn't play, somebody else, Reggie didn't play. Probably should have held Reggie out again, but it's not going to further, talking with John and Reggie, he wasn't going to further jeopardize himself. He doesn't need surgery. If he needs a surgery, we would stop him right now and just hold him out, let him have the surgery, like we did Ramon. But Tajay and Tremont didn't play Saturday. It's been a while since we've been at full strength. But you have those years. You just have to battle through it. We have a culture that's as solid as a rock in place here. And that's something that I enforce every day. We can control the things we can control. That's life. There's a lot more important things going on around us. We have a disease that's has killed hundreds of thousands of people, and we're dealing with injuries, but everybody deals with injuries. We're not unique. We're certainly not special. We just react to them as they come, and we don't want anybody playing with an injury. There's a pain threshold that every kid has. As I've said many times, there's some kids that have a high opinion of pain. Some kids have a low opinion of it. I've seen some kids would pass out giving blood. I've seen some kids grab the needle and stab themselves. So, that's they're all different. But you know what? They're all somebody's son. That makes them special.
In regards to Tremont, is it a matter of rest or rehab, or is it a little deeper in terms of the considerations on the extent of what happens next for holding him out, or is it just a matter of he can't go?
I would say all of those are in play. Joseph, I mean, we've got to make decisions. Sometimes as a coach, I have to save kids from themselves. Sometimes I have to make the hard decision. But Tremont's health is way more important than the basketball team winning the game. There's some people have no interest in anything but whether we win or lose. They could care less about the health of our kids. Well, it's more important to me that our kids are healthy because he's going to have a life to live after this. You know, I would hope that after basketball at Houston, Tremont's going to have a chance to play professionally somewhere, some level, and make a good living for himself. I want him to be able to do that. If that means shutting him down and having surgery now, that gives him his best opportunity. And you better believe that's what we're going to do. You know, winning a basketball game is comes way down the list when it comes down to these kids' health. You know, I have a responsibility for these kids. Some years, your depth chart or your health of your team doesn't allow you to maybe reach all your goals. But you know what? Do the best you can with what you got. You know, that's the great thing about being in a good place. You know, you have everything in perspective, and I do. We keep everything in perspective here. Our kids play hard. We try to do things the right way as far as the basketball program because we have high character people from top to bottom. But the kids' health is always going to be our priority.
Coach, I guess on a lighter note, compared to the health of the players and everything, who are people to watch on Texas State in tomorrow's game?
Yeah. You know how we kind of look at guys that are 40, 50, or 50, 40, 90, 50 from the field, 40 from the 3, 90 from the 3-point line. When they've got a kid that's 3 percentage points, I think he's 89.7 from the free throw line from being a 50, 40, 90 guy, and the Mason Harrell. The thing that makes this team so hard to play against is that they're all seniors, and they won the league championship last year. Extremely, extremely well coached. Can't tell you how proud I am of TJ, the coach over there. That was a guy that was paying his dues, being an assistant coach, and something happened. All of a sudden, he became the head coach, and Texas State didn't know what they had. Now everybody's finding out that this guy can really coach. Their team is very disciplined. They run good stuff, and they run it. They've got 2 high-level players, scorers at least, and Caleb Asbury and Isaiah Small. Isaiah Small is a kid that I think temporarily put his name in the portal last spring or summer. And all the Big 12 schools were doing everything they can to gobble him up, and they did a good job of getting him back. He's a lot like the Boone kids from Oklahoma State. Long, wiry, athletic, high-level rebounder, offensive rebounder. Good size inside. They got 2 kids inside. A kid from Side Creek, Nate Martin, 6'8", about 230. And then Nigel Caesar, 6'8", 230, 235. They all know their roles. They play their roles. They don't beat themselves. They're a good team. There's a reason why they're 9-2 and won 8 in a row.
Thank you.
You bet.
We'll go to Dayon Dunlap. Dayon, go ahead, please, sir.
And Coach Sampson, I feel like I've seen you guys develop each position 1 through 5 and work on their weakness. Well, expose their weaknesses to develop it. And as you continue to develop Jamal Shead, what are you working on to continue to develop him currently in this season?
Not giving in, holding the rope, not turning loose of the rope when he gets fatigued. We just don't have any depth right now is our issue. But okay, we don't have any depth. You don't ever hear me talking about it, so it's not an excuse. One of the ways you can stay on the floor and make good decisions. The other day we had a coverage call. Instead of doing what he's supposed to do, he reached in and fouled. That's his 4th foul. He had to go sit on the bench. He did the same thing in Alabama. Basketball is a game of mind over matter. But if you ain't got a mind, it don't matter. That's where the mental part of the game is important. You got to be mentally tough. Now, mentally tough in culture is words that you hear and you roll your eyes at if you have no clue what's going on. If you've never coached or ever been on a team, you wouldn't understand that. It's just words you probably get tired of hearing them. Well, I don't get tired of saying them because that's how we win. Because of our decision making, because we're able to battle through adversity and have mental toughness. But Jamal's not there yet. Everybody's extolling his virtues, and I'm seeing a kid that's got still a bunch of holes in this game. That kid's got to get better, man. His decision making. He does a lot of good things, but he's a freshman and he's played. I think he started. I don't know how many games, 7 or 8, maybe 6. I don't know, whatever it is. I'm a long way from saying he's arrived.
Thank you, Deion. We'll go back to Chris Gardner, please. Chris, go ahead.
Coach, how was Robbie Armbruster?
As far as what?
I think a while ago you said he had knee issues, something like that.
What was wrong with Robbie? We've had so many injuries. I have to go back and see what's wrong with this one, that one. Between Reggie's hand, John still couldn't believe his knuckle wasn't broken. That's how bad his hand. That's a tough kid, though. He has a very low opinion of pain. Most kids would be out, and I try to keep him out as much as I can. I don't even let him practice. Our practices we can't even practice anymore. I can't remember the last time we practiced, where I felt like we got better from practice. Now we're just trying to hold on a little bit until we can get some kids back. Robbie did have an issue. I think it was his knee, but he's been better. I can see, Q-Ron, Javier, Robbie, they all play positions where they have so many veterans and older guys in front of them. But, I like watching them progress each day. Kellen does such an awesome job with those, frontline guys. He has them in there. Price at 3, they're in there at 1:30. Price is over at 4:45, 5:15. They're in there till 6. Constantly working. And the results of that work doesn't show up today or tomorrow. It's like Fabian's jump shot. He didn't even have a jump shot. I never saw him shoot a jump shot in high school, which is a credit to Coach Martinez. Now in AAU, he throws some up. Of course, it never went in because he couldn't shoot. But look at the work he's put in. That wasn't because of one summer or 2 summers. That was accumulation of hours and hours in the gym, thousands and thousands and thousands of shots. And those are no exaggerations. People say millions of times. Well, really it was 30. Literally he shot thousands and thousands of shots, and which is a example of his work ethic and how badly he wanted to get better. But these young kids are doing the same thing. They're not going to show up this year. May not show up completely next year. But if they keep working, they'll get there. It's hard to be good. It's hard to win a game. It's hard to be good. This stuff is hard. The problem is when you're consistently good, people take it for granted. It's easy. No, it's not. So I don't like people to say, well, you're going to win your next 4 games. Well, says who? It's like I tried to tell people how good Hofstra was. They never heard of him. Well, it's not your business to hear of him. It's my business. It's what I do. I know how good they were. It didn't surprise me. Their best player didn't even play Saturday. Coogs. It's like this Texas State team. They're good. They won their league last year and they got everybody back. And every time you play teams like Texas State, you bring losing into the equation. Even if we were at full strength, this is a scary game. But, given our situation and how veteran they are and how well coached they are, and senior point guard, is a shot maker. Two high level major college players in Asbury and Small. So we're going to have to play, we're going to have to play good. It's the last game before, there's another misnomer, Christmas break. What is that, by the way? What is Christmas break? I heard a rumor one time that there was holidays that went on around Christmas. I've yet to see one. We practice Christmas night at 5:00. We'll practice at 5:00 Christmas night. We'll come back, practice the 26th. Well, guess what? The 27th is the day before the game. The day before, we play 28th. So we play Wednesday and we practice Saturday. So Thursday, Friday. I'm gonna try to OD on Maisie and Kylan as much as I can for 2 days, but I'm sure I'll be up here watching film and trying to figure out, the last game and the next game. But that's what all coaches do this time of year. Basketball crosses semester, so there is no break for us.
We'll go back to Joseph Clark. Joseph, go ahead.
You haven't got into that Santa Claus wearing stage, have you? You don't have a suit yet, do you? For the kids?
No, but it's just a thrill. Now Maisie has 3 or 4 go-to games at any time. She's a creature of habit. So she likes to go up in our film room where the team watches film at the house upstairs. And she wants me to play doctor. So I have to lay down, and she's got this little play doctor set. She checks my ears and my nose and my mouth, checks my blood pressure. So she does that till she's bored, and she goes right into Santa Claus. She says, Papa, lay down. So she says, Santa's coming. So she goes in the room and finds some kind of toy. But as she comes back and my eyes are open, we have to start over. So I have to lay down and close my eyes. And then she puts the toy underneath my shoulder or something. And then she goes back and goes, Papa, wake up. It's Christmas morning. Santa Claus came. So at least she knows now what Santa Claus is. Meanwhile, Kylan's over there in the corner pulling the Christmas tree down and tearing every ornament that you've got. So I'm trying to keep one eye on him, but still play the game with Maisie. So, but that's why being the greatest job I've ever had has been Papa. I love that.
Gotcha. What I did want to ask you, Kelvin, now that you have some, not that wasn't great, now that you have some film and some minutes to look at Ramon Walker, just your thoughts, especially from a defensive angle, what he did in that Oklahoma State game, what you liked.
Yeah, he can't practice full speed yet because his hand hasn't fully recovered. He's been released, but he's probably a month away from being 100%. He just can't snap his wrist. He had surgery. He had a detached tendon that they had to operate on and go reattach his tendon. So he doesn't have full strength there, but the doctors cleared him because he's not going to do further damage to it. He just doesn't have his full strength back. That's why when he shoots his three, it's more of a poke and hope shot than a shot. Because, he came in here with a reputation as a shooter, and he's going to be a good shooter. He's just not 100% yet. But Ramon really pays attention in practice. He picks up things. Even when he was out with his surgery and had his hand all wrapped up, when we go over our shell drill defensive principles and we talk about, where you should be based on where the ball is, coverage calls, doubling the post, what do you do there? There's a million things that here we go again with the million, probably 20 things that we do that require our kids to be fundamentally right. And it's not easy to do that. You have to work at it. And him being a freshman, he's learning as he goes. But he has good basketball IQ. He's gotten tougher since he's been here. But there's some things that he can do he's not showing you yet because he's a true freshman. and he's playing with these older guys. But, just like last year, obviously we knew how good Jamal is. Now everybody knows. Justin Gorham, the year he didn't play, we could see what a rebounder he was. And people's going to find out about a lot of these younger kids. Javier, Kieran, Robbie, Ramon. You pair them with Terrence Arsenault and Emmanuel Sharp and Jarris Walker. And that's why people get excited about the future of our program. We got good young players. We got good young players coming in, and we're always going to have a solid mix of veterans coming back. But that's how you sustain your program at a high level.
Got time for a few more questions. We'll go back to Greg Bailey with KTRK. Greg, go ahead.
Coach, you beat me to it a little bit, but what will you be able to do with your players and maybe for your players around that Christmas holiday that's not basketball practice?
Well, that's the biggest thing, not have practice. That's the greatest gift I can give them, probably, if you ask them. Although our practices lately have been not normal practice, to say the least, because of all the sickness and injuries we've had. Just having 5 guys or 6 guys. The guys that are on the bench all play the same position as the older, the one position we've had enough guys at are at the 5 spot. That's why Javier hasn't been playing, because Reggie and Josh are playing. Where we're really thin at the guard. It's probably not fair that Ramon's playing as much as he's playing, because he hasn't played all year. But he's doing enough good things to keep us afloat. I think we only have one guy that's going to have to get on an airplane, and that's Josh. Carlton, he's from his father's in North Carolina. I think his mother's in the D.C. area. So he'll fly back to the East Coast, but everybody else drives. We've got a heavy Houston, and then Texas roster. Kyler, Marcus, back to Dallas area. Reggie, back to the Dallas area. His people live in Plano now. And then, Ramon, Javier, Fabian, Houston kids. So most of our kids are staying around, because we practice Christmas Day. It's not like they get a week off or 3 days off. I mean, we play Wednesday night, we practice Saturday.
We'll go back to it. We'll go to Andy Yanez, please. Andy, go ahead, please.
Hey, Kelvin, before my main question, I guess I ask you, you're more of a Thanksgiving guy or a Christmas guy?
What?
More of a Thanksgiving guy or a Christmas guy?
Definitely Christmas, because of I just like watching kids get excited for Christmas. I've never been able to fully participate in what people say is the Christmas holidays. 2 years ago, we were playing, we're winning the Rainbow Classic in Hawaii. I can't tell you over the years how many Christmas tournaments we've been in. So most of the times we're traveling at Christmas in some distant city in some hotel playing basketball. Then when you're home, you're always playing around 22nd or 23rd, and you're playing around the 27th, 28th, 29th. But I like the excitement that people have for Christmas. And when I was younger, my favorite cake is a coconut cake. And both my mother and my grandmother were, they were Julia Child-esque. And they could go. So my mother cooked this Japanese fruit pie that was full of coconut cake. My father liked those 16-layer chocolate cakes. You have all these cakes lined up. Of course, if you're from the South, you got to know what a good old pound cake is now. So I knew we were going to get good food. Christmas tree's going to be on. Listen to Little Bing Crosby singing Silent Night, and what's that? Rumpa Pum Pum. What song is that?
Little drummer boy.
Yeah, little drummer boy. Yeah, all those songs. I love the thought of it. The problem is I gotta go back to work tomorrow. Where everybody gets to take a week off and enjoy it. But that's great. That's what the holiday is for. Family. Now, when I think of Christmas, I think of family. Those of us my age, most of our parents are gone. And that's, you always miss your mom and dad around this time because they were so integral in growing up, and the customs that they set, you carry them on with your family. So, definitely Christmas. Thanksgiving, same thing though. We usually plan it, Thanksgiving. This year, where were we? We're playing the Maui Classic in Las Vegas. So, but I've always had a great family around me during those times because our teams, Karen and I when I was a young coach, Karen and I always had our team over to our house for Thanksgiving. So it's always been around team and family, and that's a blessing.
Great, Kelvin. I'm more of a Thanksgiving guy. I think I'm too fatty, but the main question I had for you is like you alluded to, with all these injuries that really you feel like you guys haven't been able to have practice where you can say you've been able to fully improve as a team. How does that impact you? Like you said, nearing the finish line in non-conference to be able to kind of get a true sense of kind of the identity of the team. I know that's always
that doesn't change. No matter who's out there, our identity is our identity. If we had 6 guys, we're going to have an identity. But you only can put 5 guys out there. Our margin of error is small because of foul trouble. That really hurt us against Alabama, and it hurt us against Oklahoma State, which doesn't allow you to have consistent play over a period of time. It's going to be choppy because our kids are playing extended minutes and they get tired. They're not going to play great. But you learn to navigate those waters because you've seen it over and over and over the years. You don't have healthy years every year. If you do, you got a good team. That's a huge advantage. But this year has been one of those years where we just had a lot of injuries and a lot of sickness, and guys have been in and out. But we've continued to win, and that's what we've got to continue to do. Eventually, we'll be as healthy as we can be, and we'll get guys back, and then hopefully our team will get some traction and start getting on a roll. But right now, it's not about playing great. It's just about finding a way to win the game.